So today we'll be talking about Python collections. So it is made up of list, tuples, set and dictionaries. So first we'll talk about list. So there are a few ways in which we can create a list. So let's just do one. So one of the ways is like just creating an empty one. The other way is like creating it using a list. So we write list and then we pass on some values. So remember, whenever you are creating a list, and if you want to add a single object, you always have to give comma behind it. If you don't, it throws an error. Let me just show you. So if I want to create a list again, and this time I want to have a one variable, and if I give only one, it throws an error saying it is something which is of type int. So remember, keep in mind, just use a comma after that. So now let's look at some of the properties. So basically, list is something which is ordered. So whatever order you put in, it retains that. It is changeable. So if you want to change some values, you can do it. We'll see how we do it. And then we have like list can handle duplicates and they are indexed. What I mean by index is like if you write list 1 of 0, it will show you what value 0 has. I'm sorry, it is commented out. So yeah, so it gives you 1, right? So 1 is the value which is present at the index 0. Okay. So this is how we do it, and let's see some of the properties. The first property is like append. So list one dot append in. So it will add some value to the end. So remember, whenever you want to add some value to the end, you do append. Another is like insert. So insert is used to insert at a particular place at particular index. So how we do is like if you want to insert something at the beginning, we just give the index of that. So we give 0 and the value we want to append, and it appends that. So this is insert. There is one method which is pop. So pop will give you the last value out of it, and after that your dictionary will have only a one less value which was there. And if you do pop, so it pops out the last element, and if you check the list, it is having one less value. Okay, and now it can handle duplicates. So now let's just append some value which is already there. Yeah, so it has a duplicate, right? And changeable is something like if you want to change the index, say 0 from 11 to say I want to make it as -1, you can do it. So yeah, now let's see some of the properties of a set. Okay, one more thing before we go forward, like I can show you how to iterate in a list, right? There are a couple of ways. I'll show you all. So I can do for I in list 1, and I say print I. So it iterates through the entire list. The other method is using an enumerate. So what enumerate does is like it gives you an index. Okay, so you can use that index for any reference what you want. So for say index comma whatever value we have in enumerate, then we pass on the list, right? And then we print index and the value. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is your index and corresponding other values. One more method is there with using range. So for I in range, len gives you the length of a list. Basically any other structure that is there, len can be used with that. And if I print I comma list 1 of I, it will be the same as of enumerate. Okay, I misspelled print, pretty common. It'll happen with you guys also. Okay, okay, what it says, type object is not scriptable. Okay, what wrong am I doing here? in range. What is okay? Let me just check what's wrong here. Yeah. So basically, this is for your range. Let me just print something. Okay, it does. So nothing wrong with the. So let's just print again. So I and then I want to print what I have. Oh, sorry, it was list instead of list one. That's why it was not printing. But so yeah, it works same as your enumerate. Right. So these are the methods using which you can traverse your list. So now let's move on to our next thing, which is like tuples. So tuples are something which are ordered. It cannot be changed. It allows duplicates and are indexed. So when I say cannot be changed, don't get confused. I'll show you a few examples. So say suppose I create a tuple and I have a value 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is how a tuple looks. And now if I say tuple of 0, I want to change it to some value like we did in the list. Right. So it throws an error saying it doesn't support assignment. Right. You cannot change it. But if I create a tuple which has a list inside it, right? So let's create a list and then do some values. Now if I say tuple of 0, okay, and I want to say append a value in that list, say I want to append 10, it does, right? And if I print the tuple, it shows you that. So what exactly it means is the values of a tuple cannot be changed. Okay, it doesn't support an assignment. You cannot assign a value to a particular index. Now if I say tuple of 0, right, equals to 10, even though it is a list, it won't support an assignment. So you cannot change that. But if something is mutable inside a tuple, you can always change it. So just keep that in mind. So for iterating it, it is same like we have in list. So for I in TUP, and we can print your I. You can also use the enumerate and the other things. It works same. Only thing is you cannot assign any value to it. Let's move to the next thing, which is set. So set is something which is not ordered. You cannot change anything into that. It doesn't support duplicates and it is not indexed. So basically it doesn't support any assignment or anything. So if I want to create a set, there are a few ways. Let's just check one of them. So if I say set underscore 1, and if I give this, if I give some values, so this is a set. It doesn't has any order. It is showing 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it may happen that it can come to 1, 3 or something like that. Right. So set is basically used when you want to do some operations on things which are sorted, I can say, or which which can be changed to a hash, right? So set is also freezed, so you cannot add any duplicates. I'll just show. So if I say 3 again, it will not take the second 3, it will only have 1 3. So to remove duplicates, you can use it. Okay, now let's move on to dictionaries. Okay, so dictionary is one of the very interesting concepts in Python. So in Python 3.7, all the dictionaries are ordered. So if you're using a version which is less than 3.7, it is not ordered. So basically you have to use an ordered dictionary, which is a part of collections. Okay. Yeah. So it is not ordered in less than 3.7. It is ordered in 3.7. It is changeable, but dictionaries don't have duplicate values, and there is a very good reason for that because it works on hashing concept. And if two values, are same, a hash won't be created properly. So that's why it doesn't support duplicates. And dictionaries are not indexed, meaning you cannot index it by using zero or something. You have to use items to get it, or you have to create a list out of keys or values. So let's see some of the properties of a dictionary. So let's just create one. So I would say dict1. So basically a dictionary always holds a key and a value. If you don't provide them with key and value, it will throw an error. So key, talking about keys, key can be anything which is unique and which can be hashed. Okay. So what I mean by hashed is, say suppose there is a tuple. So tuple itself, if it doesn't has any immutable objects, can be used as a hash. But if I have a tuple one, which has something which is mutable, let's say like a list inside it, it cannot be hashed because the value of the list keeps on changing, or it can be changed. So when it is changed, the hash won't match, and it can break your code. So that's why this tuple here can be used as a dictionary, as a key of a dictionary, but this can't. So any key which can be hashed can be used as a key. So let's just create one dictionary. Let's just say A, and its value is 10. Okay. There is something B which has a value of 20. Now, if you want to iterate it, or if you want to see what keys it has, so for keys we say dict1 dot keys. Okay, and these are your keys, and for values we say dict1 dot values, and it will give you the values. Now suppose you're making a program and you want to fetch your value using your key. Okay, so if you want that, you can always access it by passing on what key you need. Okay, so if I pass on the key, it gives you value. And always remember, the fetch time of a dictionary using a key is generally O1. And worst case is O1, but it happens very less, so it can be termed as O1. Right? Fetching from a list with an index is also O1, but if you fetch a value in a list, if you fetch by value in a list, it is O1. Right? Same goes for set. So if you want to fetch something with a key, dictionary is the best option. Now let's see how you can iterate through it. So for I want to see my key and a value in, and I say dict1 dot items. So items basically splits your dictionary into two, key and value, and then using key and value you are getting that. Now if you print key and value, so you see you can print it, right? So there are many applications for keys, for dictionaries, and all those things. So the most commonly used, I mean, the most commonly used thing will be list and dictionaries. But I would say you prefer dictionaries because of its less fetch time. So I think